Hello guys, it is GMoney228 here, and we're back with another Minecraft video. And today I would like to talk to you guys about the mysterious events that went on with one of my Minecraft worlds I originally created. Now, this Minecraft world I made back around 2012 of March, and during this time I was kind of in an architect type phase where I was enjoying building stuff, and one of the things I wanted to build was golf courses. As you can see, one I'm playing right now. This is also one made by me. But these golf courses were played by bow and arrow, and I started out with some very basic tactics while building my courses. And over the time, I had built my first course. My first course was very basic, very short. Quite fun to play though, still, even when I had finished everything else, it was still a fairly fun thing to play. And I enjoyed making these courses. I would make them, at one point I would play those over playing online with my friends on Minecraft. And it was a hard thing for me to do, to work on these. And each course, my first original courses that I would make, would take me somewhere around, I would say, about 30-40 minutes to make 9 holes. Now if you know what golf is, now my first courses were also very short. They weren't very long, but I still put some work into them. And as I progressed, I kind of came up with my own new tricks, and over the time they slowly began to progress, and what I'm playing here is what my last courses kind of started to look like. Now, I put a little bit more work into my last courses than the one you see here. I would have trees around most of this area. I would plan out a lot of what's going on, and it looked very nice. And in my world, I had even built a little center area so that you could teleport to all the courses. In total, I had somewhere around 7 or 8 par 3 courses at this time. I think most of them were 9 holes. I had about, let's see, I'd say 13 or 14 9-hole courses like the one I'm playing now, and I think 4 or 5 18-hole courses. And now at this point, I was getting very happy with what I was building. I was enjoying what I was building. It looked very nice, but I wanted something a little bit more. So I decided to go on and I decided to work on the toughest course that I had ever made. Now, this event started in, I believe it was 2014, somewhere, I think, beginning of 2014, towards the end of my 9th grade school year. And that means I had this place for about, I think it's 3.5 years, maybe 2.5, I don't exactly know. But I had improved on a lot. I had decided to make this course very hard to do. It was going to be an 18-hole, extremely nice course. And so I was going around, I was building, having a great time. And as I was building on it, this happened somewhere around 5:30. I had finished, I think, 13, almost 14 holes. I had pre-played all the holes, so I did get to experience it. But what ended up happening was my world decided to corrupt on me. Now, if you think about this, the amount of time that I had spent in that world was unbelievable. I had, at minimal, at least 4 or 5 days in this world. That is a lot of time in Minecraft. Like, I'm talking about, that was somewhere around 72 hours, probably honestly more, because I didn't just build the holes and courses, I would play them multiple times over. And I really did enjoy this, but so somehow the power managed to go out to my house that night. And once that happened, I got back on. Everything kind of seemed normal, and I experienced something that I had never experienced, being a very, very long Minecraft player. I saw a chunk that was completely missing. If I tried to go into this chunk where an air block would be, say like right here, I could fly into it, but all I'd see was an abyss, just a straight down hole. It looked exactly like a chunk error. But when I would try to ascend down into the chunk error, I would just get stuck. I would glitch out and my game would crash. And so I continued to join back in the world, not understanding what this was exactly. And I had joined the world multiple times and just seen this one little hole that would not let me go in it. So eventually I decided to ignore it, continue on as usual. And so that's what I did. I did that for about 2 or 3 days until one day I joined back on the world, and I had probably at this point finished about 17 holes. I was very close to the end, and I decided to fly back over to that area, and I flew back over there, and there were now 3 chunks missing side by side, making an L. And this was bad because this is actually where one of my tee boxes had been, and it had completely destroyed the tee boxes by just tearing them apart, and they were gone. And it was very, very weird, and once again I decided to just ignore it and hopefully go away. It did the exact opposite. So on that time on there, I managed to finish my 18th hole. I played all the way to that hole. The chunk error was still there. I decided to just play from a different spot where the tee box wasn't. I did that and I played, and I decided to get off for that night. And so this night I decided to get on probably about 3 or 4 days later, because I just finished my big project, which I enjoyed building so very much. And once I got on that day, the whole world had just disappeared, gone forever. And what happened when I would join? I would just join in the world and immediately fall into void. There was just nothing. It was blank, empty. I would just fall forever until I would hit my death. And I, at that point, got extremely sad and continued to join the world over and over. And this is where it gets very weird. So as I was joining the world over and over, I began to get even madder. And one point when I joined the world, everything seemed to just freeze. I wasn't dying. Although my Y had continued to decrease, I wasn't dying. And my Y continued to decrease more and more. I eventually got to the point where I was around 1,000 or so, and they would teleport me back up to my spawn point. Not killing me, just teleporting me. And as it did this, I, at one point, teleported back to the original chunk that had disappeared. It was nothing else was there in the world. It was just the original chunk that had disappeared. And now this is very, very creepy for me. And I began to look at this chunk, and I was like, wait, maybe the world is possibly trying to save itself, recovering its chunk slowly. So I decided to join back more and more and more into the world. And as I began to do this, the world just didn't do anything the first couple times I joined. And I joined one point later, and it managed to turn back into 3 chunks, the original L that had disappeared. And I was getting very happy because I'm like, maybe if I continue to join and leave, the world will just come back slowly over time, because the chunks may be recovering themselves from their files. And at this point, I just continued to leave and join until I got my entire world back, and I was extremely happy because of this. Now at this time, I did not realize how to go into my files and copy and paste the worlds. If I would have done this, I would have possibly been able to save my world. But what happens next is I continued to go on, and I just messed around for about 20-30 minutes. I believe I began to work on a new course, maybe finishing 1, possibly 2 holes. Very quick and easy one, and I got off. This was my extremely large mistake. The second I got back on that world a couple days later, the entire world had disappeared again. Nothing was there. I began to fall into the void, and I wasn't dying either. I would just fall into the void and just fall forever. And this was something that then just kind of blew my mind, because I had just recovered my entire world. The power had not shut off when I had got off that original day before, or couple days before. So I was wondering why the world continued to disappear. And I got very, very mad at myself and this world, and I eventually just cut off the world. And so after all of that, I began to get quite depressed, because of the amount of time and just work I had put into this world was unbelievable. I had a beautiful spawn point for people. Everything was just amazing. It looked beautiful. I enjoyed that world so much. My friends enjoyed playing my world, and it was just gone forever. And it was just never to come back. I had tried getting back on the world before, but eventually I went and looked up certain ways that I could save my worlds, and not a single one of them worked. I tried copy pasting the file at this time, although sadly it once again just didn't work. It broke. It was not going to fix itself. And so eventually I just deleted the world completely. And after building 40 or so courses on that original world, I just gave up on building courses. This was right here is all that remains of my dream for building golf courses on Minecraft. I had completely given up on that thought, and because that I had given up on that, it also took Minecraft away from me. I had eventually got so sad and mad at the same time at this game that I completely quit and never came back. This is what is left of my Minecraft experience on building golf worlds, although I still do get on once in a while to mess with redstone. It has never been the same game for me. Everything has changed, and it's just horrible. That world that I had spent so much time on would never come back. I would never see it again. All I have now from that world are just memories, and those memories are just amazing. Memories of that world are better than what I could ever build. It's something that I would just like to spend more time in, and this is something that I never want anyone else to experience ever in Minecraft. It's horrible. There's no way anyone should ever go through this. That world was my world that I had literally spent the most time on in Minecraft. No multiplayer server, no single player world. Nothing overpowered that world. I had spent so much time on that. It was just unbelievable. I love that world so much. The 72 hours thing might not even have been true. For all I know, I probably spent more time on that than just 72 hours, because I had spent so much time on that. My friends have spent so much time on that world. I just wish now that I could go back and just see my first course that I had made on that world one more time, and then maybe I could get off of it and never come back with a happy thought in my mind. But once that world was gone, as I said, I couldn't play Minecraft anymore. Building stuff was not fun for me anymore, and I just couldn't get up the courage enough to build a full golf course on this game anymore. It just killed me to even try. This entire 7, maybe 8 hole course, I don't even know what it is, because I've just lost all care in the world for building these in Minecraft. This is probably about 3 months of forcing myself on to try and do what I used to love. But Minecraft had taken that away from me completely. There was no way that I could get back on and just do that again. And it's a horrible thing. I wish that no one would have to go through this. And there is one way, however, that I have found out that you guys watching this video can save your world from this happening to it. And the one way that I will tell you right now of how to save your world from this ever happening is, first of all, what you need to do is go into your files, search percentage app data percentage, and once you get there, click on your .minecraft folder, click on the saves folder inside of that folder, and then find whatever world you love the most, and then copy and then paste that world somewhere on your desktop that it will never get lost. Do this constantly. You do not want this to happen to you. It is horrible, and I hope that none of you will ever have to experience what I did with this world, because it completely took Minecraft away from me. I could not stand to play this game anymore. Even recording this pains me, especially to get on this world right here, because this is the remains of a dream that got crushed by one corruption. Goodbye.